podcast. I'm Michael Hart.
And I am David Graves. Once again, guys, if you enjoy this podcast, be sure to leave a rating and a written review on your podcast platform of your choice. It really helps out the podcast and it helps us reach new listeners.
All right, Dave, let's get humble.
Oh yeah, let's get humble, Mike. What's going on in the mind of Mike?
Yeah, it's been fun. One thing that happened today. I'm not gonna hit these in order, I guess. But one thing that happened today is I received an Amazon package. You know, I'm sure all of us are receive quite a few of those once in a while. Specifically, if you have that Prime subscription, it's just so easy to just grab something and go. But I've been searching for a while. Probably one of my all-time dreams, even growing up as a kid, was to have my very own Spider-Man costume. And for no reason, really, just because I just always thought it would be cool to have one. You know, great for parties, great for Halloween, but just good to have.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always thought that, looking for an outfit, specifically if it's for Halloween, the better time to do it is like August or September, before any kind of retailer hikes up their prices the closer to Halloween we get. So I just happened to be on Amazon, and one of my it was recommended, check this out, clearly you've looked at this kind of stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a full body Spider-Man costume, and at the time it was like $35, and I was like, no way this is any good, because I've seen good ones that are upwards of $75, $150. And I went down and read all the reviews, and everyone was like, yo, get this is legit, sure, it won't last forever, but for $35, grab it before the price goes up. I think I checked on it today, and I think the prices are sitting around $41 now, so it looks like they have gone up a little bit since I grabbed. But as soon as it came in the mail, I just threw it on middle of my workday and just snapped a fun photo and sent it out to our group chat. And I was like, yo, when Amazon, I was like, when Amazon's got a $35 Spider-Man costume, YOLO.
That's why I was like, I'm kind of confused. I didn't know if Mike was sending it because he was like, yeah, we're about to do some shit. We're wearing it to, I don't know, too many games or something or whatever. And then he was like, nah, I just got it to get it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, David's like, what's that for? And I was like, come on, man, it's a $35 suit. Let's go.
So confused.
Yeah, so that's been the fun in our chats today. But recently I was approached by my yo-yo sponsor, specifically the designer we have on the team, and he said, hey, the Throwing Sideways wants to give you your own custom pro model yo-yo. And that blew me out of the water. Having become a sponsored player at the age of 30 is so just so humbling. The fact that someone reached out and said, hey, we like what you do, will you use our product and we'll support you back, kind of thing. And I think that's so cool. Shout out to William over there at Throwing Sideways.
Shout out.
But yeah, so I've been working with our designer Sean, who's also on the team as a player, and we've been just going back and forth for since about 2 weeks now, and on a design. I've been really just kind of putting together all of my favorite shapes that a yo-yo can be. I have probably close to 50 separate different branded yo-yos and stuff like that I've collected over the years. And so it was really fun to try to bring some of those together and come to a completion on a design that we've just greenlit. I have no idea when it'll be available. It might not be manufactured for another 6 months to a year. Who knows? But the fact that it's something that legitimately is gonna kind of come out of nowhere, it's seriously a dream come true, and the little child in me is shouting on the rooftops. It's just so fun.
Well, everyone give Mike a round of applause. I think that'd be pretty cool to work for
my own pro model yo-yo. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I think it'd be cool to either be sponsored or work for one, but
yeah,
especially being a graphic designer and you also having an art background. Just imagine making these things all the time. I feel like that'd be really fun.
Yeah. But coming up this weekend, actually, so the weekend after this episode launches, it's probably one of the busiest weekends that I've had in a very long time, and we've had some busy weekends. But so let's hit it off. So Thursday night we're going out for my wife's birthday. Her birthday is actually the Friday, but we're going out Thursday night. We're going out to a really nice, I think, a Spanish restaurant. I think super cool. And then Friday is her actual birthday, but we both somehow scheduled dentist appointments on her birthday. She's just going in for like a cleaning, but I actually last time I was in, they said, hey, you have like two small little cavities that we're gonna have to fill for you,
Mhm.
and let's just put you on this date, which also happened to be my wife's birthday. And so just because I'm getting fillings, I was like, babe, I don't know if we're gonna be able to go out to eat that night. If I don't know
Yeah.
what my mouth is gonna be like, and I
Mhm.
was like, so let's do dinner the night before, so at least we can get it covered. Of
Mhm.
course, my parents love celebrations, so they already hit us up and they're like, "Oh, we're taking you guys out for Carolyn's birthday Friday," and I was like, "I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but okay, like great, that'll work out." But this
Water.
is something that's yeah, like water or soup or something,
Mhm.
or ice cream. I don't know. Um, but I'm really excited to go. But what's crazy is this is the first like dental procedure, other than like a cleaning, that
Mhm.
I've had in like 10 years.
Mhm.
So like if like the fact that like I've gone like most of my adult life not needing any kind of like dent. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have a cracked tooth that probably needs to get fixed at some point, but that
Mhm.
that was that's a whole nother story. Um, yeah, so I'm a little nervous. I gotta go get fillings. I was like, I'm a 31-year-old man, a little
Ah.
nervous to get fillings, and I was like, but I mean, I know it's like I know it's nothing. I can go. I'm a champ. I can go there and get like X-rays. I can get my
Mhm.
cleanings done, and like it's going to the dentist, right? This time they're just gonna be poking and prodding a little bit more than usual.
Yeah, it
Uh,
probably won't be that. I remember I had like a hole. I think I had a hole in my tooth when I was younger. They didn't say it was a cavity or anything, but they filled it. But they don't use like the metal anymore.
yeah.
They don't use that.
Oh,
They
I
use
know.
like
Yeah.
the.
So
It
this
looks like the tooth.
But the last time I had a filling put in, they
Mhm.
put in the metal stuff. And so I actually still have some of that stuff in me. Like it still sits on my teeth. I think some of it came out because it was on some younger teeth that
Mhm.
eventually fell out. But like I definitely still have some of the old school metal fillings in my head.
Mhm.
You always see them when they take X-rays. But anyway, so we'll see how that goes. That's Friday. And then Saturday. Oh my goodness, Saturday is my sister's wedding. Um,
Jesus.
so I mean they did like the courthouse get the license thing,
Mhm.
and then we are doing like it's like it's a COVID style wedding, so it's a small gathering. I think there's only gonna be like 40 people there.
Mhm.
um my parents helped find a location at like a country club type venue, and super excited to just see my sister finally get tying the knot. Love the guy she's with. I've known him for a long time. I actually introduced them um once upon a time at a crazy high school party. That she was like, hey, I'm home from college, what are we doing this weekend? I was like, I'm going to a party, are you coming? And so she came along, and that's where she met the guy, and
Mhm.
they've kind of been in touch ever since. But anyway, so super excited about that. And then Sunday, if my weekend wasn't busy enough, or no, actually Sunday I think I get a day of rest. It's the following Sunday, which we have something to do.
Mhm.
It's like a fall festival in our area. So yeah, I
Oh
think
yeah.
Sunday will be the day to sleep.
That's not
If
this
in
weekend, right? That's next weekend,
Is it wait, is it this or that? Hold on.
guys.
Mid
Because
podcast,
hold
gotta
on,
gotta gotta check
because
because I need to know how busy I'm about to be or not so busy.
because
Uh,
yeah,
it is it is this weekend. Uh,
mother of God.
it's Sunday the
Yep.
26th.
Yep.
So yep. So that means wedding Saturday and then doing this Sunday. It's crazy, guys. Hey, I'm stoked on life. Life feels good right now, as best that it can be. There's some other crazy cool stuff happening in the world, and but yeah, man, that's me in a nutshell. But yo, I mean, I don't know if I know you've got plenty of stuff going on lately, Dave. So give it to me, man. What's going on
Guys, I'm
in the world
done.
of Graves?
No more. No mas, please. I can't. I
It's
feel
getting
like we've been.
it's getting expensive out here.
It's getting expensive. I just feel like we've been moving. Like I think ever since the first party we were at Nelly's. Like yeah, we've just been like party after gathering after gathering. And now they're all mixing together. I even asked Mike. I said, "What the heck happened last? I can't remember." But as far as I know, and as far as what I can remember, my birthday passed on September 7th. Um, I don't know if we got to talk about that, but if you're hearing it again, that's when my birthday was. But we got to go out to dinner. Ashley surprised me with my brother and his wife, which I enjoy their company a lot. They watched me grow up, and I, loved hanging out with them. We were always laughing till we cried. Pretty much, we went to Kuma, which is a sushi spot in Westchester. Amazing, expensive though. And my girlfriend decided to make a slick move and grab the check and pay for everybody. And my brother did not like that, but they always pay for us, so she had to get them back. Was what it was. But birthday, and then on top of my birthday, it was my brother's birthday before that, the 31st. So we went bowling, And of course, while we're bowling, before we get to the bowling place, it was called Lucky Strike in Philly. We see Little Baby, if you guys know who he is. He's a rapper. He was just standing on the street corner in Philly because Made in America was happening. So that was pretty cool. Didn't get to meet him though. I wish we did because that would have been interesting. We had the two of the biggest like Russian bodyguards I've ever seen in my life. These two big white guys. I was like, who were they guarding? That's how I knew who he was. But after that, let's get into it, guys. Now we're getting into this past weekend and such. But I had a cookout for my birthday. A lot of great people that mean a lot to me. Especially having them come over and hang out with me. A lot of my friends from when I lived in Westchester, a lot of friends where I live now, and friends I've made either this year or last year. Mike was there, everybody was there, but we had a cookout. It was really well tamed, which I was happy. Usually, guys, if you don't know me, I like parties, but I hate throwing them because I do not like cleaning up anything. And if you're going to make a mess, then I got to clean it up. And that's usually what happens when, we are having parties either at our house, Ashley's sister's house. There's always cleanup at the end. Not gonna lie though, sometimes I like to clean up when we're cleaning up with them because me and her sister just laugh. Like I remember one time Ashley made a roast beef sandwich at 3 a.m. and of course she proceeds to say, "quote This joint's slamming," end quote. And at 3 a.m. we just busted out laughing. I couldn't stop laughing, but it was amazing. Cookout was amazing. Thanks everybody for coming out. Thank you for helping me celebrate my birthday in a grown fashion. A lot of people wanted to play Pong and stuff like that, but I was entertaining. I was seeing everybody talking, getting the vibes, a lot of positive energy. Definitely something needed after this year and things that have been happening. And guys, Papa Dave. Unfortunately, Mike wasn't there, but you probably, if you've been on our social medias, if you've been on my social media, King underscore Graves 13. There's a photo of me being very, very, very surprised. This whole baby debacle has been something crazy. I'm definitely going to get into it right now. I'm not going to try and eat up too much time, but we thought we were having a girl, only for the simple fact that they were looking at the X and the Y's, and they thought it was going to be something called Turner syndrome, which, happens in women. So that being said, I said, we're having a girl, but Ashley needed to have this procedure to see if it was a girl. Something was a little fishy because after the procedure, they stick it, it's like, I forget what it's called, but they stick a needle in her stomach, take some of the fluid out of the placenta, etc., etc. And she didn't tell me anything after. And I was like, this is a little strange. I haven't heard anything. I said, I'm going to let it rock. I don't want to pry too deep because if you know Ashley, she is a terrible liar. And I would have found out right away. So, gender reveal's going on. My family's there. My mom and my dad were there. They have not seen each other, I want to say, since my graduation, I want to say, of high school. That's probably the last time they might have seen each other. So we had my family, Ashley's family. They have these poppers, and we get to pop a balloon. And Ashley's friend Jackie, thank you to Jackie and Tony. They did an amazing job. If you're listening to this, by now, congratulations, Jackie and Tony. This is the first being said. That's all I need to say. They probably don't listen to it, but apparently Tony was going to propose today to Jackie. But they got a balloon, they got a popper, and all this other stuff. So they're like, all right, you pop it, Ashley pops it, your family pops it. So my mom and my dad, Ashley's sister, and her dad. It pops, guys, and everything's flying everywhere. Me expecting pink dust, blue dust comes out of this balloon, and I haven't been this shocked. I don't even know the last time I've been this shocked. I honestly can't even tell you the last time I was this shocked. Maybe graduating college, but it was the most shocking realization of my life that I'm having a son. I'm still speechless about it because I don't know. It was just crazy, but I want to thank everybody come to the gender reveal. Papa Graves, King Graves, as people know me on Twitch, is about to have an heir to the throne. But we just got him weighed and measured and everything, and he's a healthy boy and everything else like that. But there is one thing I wanted to bring to the podcast. I will not always put his life on blast on here because he's going to have his own life and, he can do what he wants. But the weirdest thing, my son is one of 6 people that have ever been, it's not diagnosed, but brought to the attention of doctors. It's something don't Google this because I don't have the paper next to me, but I think it's called Mosaicism or something like that. But it's when a child's born and they have X and Y's and then they split off. And then there's a bunch of things that split off to make, other things. But he was born as a boy and he still is a boy. But it's one side has too many X's, one side has too many Y's, etc., etc., etc. Nothing crazy happens. It could be a heart defect. He might not be able to have kids when he gets older, everything else like that. But our doctor looked at everything and looked at him. His heart is extremely healthy, 4 chambers. He looks good, strong spine, brain is functioning perfectly. Everything's good. He has his private parts. Everything's good. So he said, and in the thing we read, 90% of people who have this turn out fine. It's very, 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 very rare that it's an issue, but it brought to my attention that, and also that about emotional or behavioral issues, but it brought to my attention that, if my son does have this, I get to do something my father didn't get to do, which was be there for me, walk me through life. Sometimes you got to realize certain things and calm down and take it from there. But I love him to death. I got to see his head. He got his dad's head. I'll tell you that, y'all. He got a big head. That's my boy, though. We're still picking out names, but we'll keep you on this journey of his life. Not too much, but who knows? Maybe one day my son and or child of Mike's, whenever that'll happen, who knows? We'll take over our podcast. I don't know. But I'm happy. Thank you, everybody. Now let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling, guys. There's a lot more. We had Mark and Melissa's wedding. I was the best man. Good God. No one asked me to be their best man for a bit. I'm letting you know right now. Jeez. We got to the hotel, which was at Valley Forge Casino. They did an amazing job, apart from some of the crazy stuff. But me and Mark got a room. There's supposed to be 2 beds in the room. There was 1 bed. So me and Mark had to share the bed with his son, which was interesting. His son smashed in between us, but it was a pretty big bed. So that was fun. But all in all, everything was great. I gave my speech. Maybe we'll put that up on social media for you guys. We're still trying to get some Humble Thread stuff together because we see our, crowd is growing. So we want to make sure we give you guys everything we can give you and keep going with content. But Ashley had a speech. She was her sister's maid of honor. I was Mark's best man, so I had a speech. All in all, we had it together. Beautiful wedding. Was amazing. I'm very happy that I found a girlfriend with a family as amazing as they are and as understanding as they are and as loving as they are. Gotta love them to death. But we're going to keep rolling forward. Job situation, guys. I have had an opportunity to apply for another graphic design job, which I am hoping I get. I'm very excited about it. We'll find out Friday, so you guys will be hearing this Thursday. So prayers and positivity, more positivity out there for your boy. Hopefully I can get it, and then I'll have more time to focus on this stuff and to help Mike out and keep moving, because Mike has been killing it as our social media manager, head of production. That's what I like to call him. And guys, last but not least, that was a lot of talk. My mouth is parched, so I'm gonna take a little nasty. All right, guys. So what I got, my neighbor bought the Bud Light Fall Seltzer flavors. She asked me which one I want. I said, give me the marshmallow because I know it's terrible. It is called toasted marshmallow. I'm trying to bring this into a flavor palette for y'all, so close your eyes, not if you're driving. It's like someone got the store brand cream soda and got Svedka, just vodka. That's it. No flavor vodka, just plain vodka. And they were just like, bang, mix it all in there. And hell, they were like, let's pour some Vlad in there to give it some flavor. That is what it tastes like. Bud Light, I don't know what y'all are doing up there. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who's making the calls or decisions, but this ain't it. This ain't it. This really is not it. I've been drinking this since it is now 6 o'clock. I've been drinking this since 4 o'clock. Then it's still not done. But me and Mike were talking about that last time. We definitely want to try it. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a case and maybe we'll split a case because there's no need to buy one case each, and we'll see, what these flavors are fully like and give you guys some extra stuff on TikTok or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like taste test or something.
Yeah, because this thing and the aftertaste is like, I can't even. If you guys want to go buy it. I think this will be a one-time thing. It's this never coming back again. Seltzers, dear God, no. That's all I can say. No more. That's it. That's all I gotta say. But that's the end of my weekend. It's just so bad, Mike. It's so bad. But for me to not continue to keep going, guys. Once again, thank you for everything that we had going on and all the stuff that's happening. I'm excited to hear Mike's experience with his wedding, his socially distant wedding that he's going to for his sister and everything. And also another hand clap for Mike because he's got his own yo-yo. We don't know when it's coming out, but you are for darn sure we'll be blasting it out there. But the last thing me and Mike wanted to say was, y'all did it. Y'all did it. We
Yes, you did.
we are currently over 500 listens. Thank you. And that's all I gotta say. I couldn't imagine us being 21 episodes in and having 500 listens.
Yeah,
Mike.
I mean, like just a little bit of like a retrospective on that climb to 500. I can remember when we recorded like the first couple episodes, and if you go back, they're not great quality. Like we didn't know what we were doing.
No.
Like the subject matter's good, but
Oh
the
yeah,
quality of the audio is not great.
great
But
conversations.
if you go back, like you can see that like we never like I remember I was like, yo Dave, we got like 25 listens or something on the first episode, or like the first week we dropped it, and he was like 25 listens, like that's a lot of listens. And it's like, yeah, I mean, like for a 45 to an hour long podcast show, like
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
like when we're first starting out, that was a lot.
Yeah.
And like it was so cool to see every episode like continuing to climb, and like it's starting to get more and more, or at least more consistent or regular
Hmm.
returning listeners coming back. We started getting reviews on Apple Podcasts, which is amazing.
Hmm.
We this is episode 21 out of what's hoping to be a 26 episode season, maybe give or take one or two depending on how the year falls. But
Hmm.
at for a brand new podcast that has had very little marketing, if anything, other than just us tweeting about it or sharing it on our stories, for it to hit over 500 total listens. Some episodes have done better than others. Maybe that's
Hmm.
just topic, subject matter, time of the year, time of life, or whatever for people. But like it's super super awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're listening to this right now, you are part of that really helped us go on to the next 500, and the next big milestone maybe will be like 1,000 overall
Hmm.
listens, which
Hmm.
would be absolutely insane.
But
So maybe
yeah.
I'm calling it now. I'm throwing my hat in the stands that a year from now we will have over 1,000 listens. I'm giving us a year to get there, and I would love to see us exceed that tremendously. But because we hit 500 total listens,
Hmm.
uh, like we've teased previously, we decided that we were going to put together some merch. We currently have a Teespring store available. I
Hmm.
believe you can just search on Teespring Humble Threads. It should pop up.
Hmm.
We'll have links to it
Show
soon enough.
notes, social media.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
At the moment, we just have a really nice logo tee. But I've just got for access to the store myself, and I have the logo ready to go. So be prepared for maybe some new items that might show up.
Oh yeah, and new
Maybe
designs from
maybe at
classic.
some point we'll do like a photo shoot, and we'll get like a poster put up or something.
Oh
Which
yeah,
which,
mostly. We're
would
gonna
be,
have some crazy stuff in there,
yeah, who
especially
knows?
for you guys. Mike brings up a great point. That is actually really great. Maybe we can get like a poster up there or something. So, if anybody, if we're ever at these cons, as COVID is starting to get a little handle on it anywhere here and there, but things starting to open back up. If you see us out, you have the poster. When we're at these things, if you would like us to sign it, that'd be extremely humbling. Humble plug, but that'd be awesome too. So we're gonna be having fun things in there. I'm telling you right now, guys, there will be a shirt that says "the big game," and a football player is gonna be catching a bowl of nachos or something. Because I still
Love it.
think that's the funniest quote that Mike has ever said. But thank you guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe hopefully one day, who knows, if we get to the point where we can do this full time, that'd be even better. But wouldn't be here without you guys. But that being said, let's take a break, and here's a word from our sponsors.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through that little ad. It really does help the show out a lot. Currently, it's the only way that we make any kind of income off the show. And so hopefully looking forward to helping you guys get some merch. But anyway, let's dive directly into some of the meatier topics of the day. I wanted to a few things in the world of like stocks and crypto. I'm a dabbler, if you wanted to, if a good way to put it in terms of like that whole world. And one thing that's super interesting to me is I've been like hooked on the Dogecoin meme world that's been existing on Twitter. Either it's been Elon Musk hyping it up, or funny enough, Slim Jim actually. If you ever go to at Slim Jim on Twitter, the last like 100 tweets that they've put out haven't had anything to do with Slim Jims, but they're all
Why?
about the Dogecoin. I
Why?
don't know. They like Slim Jim is just really rocking all about Dogecoin.
If I
But
can buy a Slim Jim with Dogecoin, the world has changed. That's what
I think I think it's possible. They seem to really like it. But anyway, so I've been kind of watching the whole Dogecoin craziness. I've decided to pick up a couple when I downloaded the Robinhood app last year. Just
Mm-hmm.
when I was getting into some trying to try my hand at stocks.
Mm-hmm.
But so I got some of it, but it's not worth anything, and I've actually lost some money on it. So it's just kind of sitting there in the balance. But one of the biggest things lately that also has been going on is these other meme stocks is like AMC. So AMC has been AMC and GME, which is American music, not music, movies, whatever, the movie theater
American
AMC.
Movie Cinema, I think. Or something
That's
like
right. Maybe that's it. But AMC, the movie theater, and as well as GameStop, recently over the pandemic, suddenly spiked up, and they did this thing called the big squeeze or whatever, and
that.
and GameStop went from like almost negative value to like $400 in a day. Made a lot of people a lot of money. But ever since all of that's kind of been happening, like they call themselves the Doge Army, have been like trying to get AMC to accept Dogecoin as a viable currency. And what's wild is, I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, that the CEO of AMC released a statement that they'll be accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I believe Litecoin and
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin Cash is what they were
Mm-hmm.
going to start accepting. I think next year or something. And obviously the Dogecoin army of all these people out there that are crazy for Dogecoin, we're like, well, what about the Dogecoin? Even Elon
Mm-hmm.
Musk has said he might take Dogecoin as a currency for Tesla's vehicles. And so the CEO of AMC put out a tweet yesterday, and it was just like, hey, if we were to consider accepting Dogecoin, would you use it? Like, would it be something that would work? And so I'm going to quote him exactly of what he tweeted 5 hours ago today. He says, "So fascinating. Dogecoin poll was by far my highest ever read tweet in 24 hours. 4.2 million views. My most ever retweets. Most ever replies. 140,000 total votes. 77% yes. 23% came in as a no. It's clear that you think AMC should accept Dogecoin. Now we need to figure out how to do that. Stay tuned." And that's wild. The fact that the literal internet was like, you're going to accept Dogecoin now. And he was like, I guess we're accepting Dogecoin now. And he even goes on to say that he never thought he'd see the day, but Elon Musk liked his tweet about Dogecoin, and then gave a little like thing about how how he respects Tesla and SpaceX and all that
Mm-hmm.
nonsense. But to see big hitter, Elon Musk has been trolling Dogecoin since its kind of like mainstream debut,
That
especially when it
dude,
came to Saturday Night Live.
he is the modern day, like, Lex Luthor. He's literally the modern day Lex Luthor. Like,
Oh, for sure.
that man is out of pocket.
Yeah, he's wild. He does, and they're making like Tesla bots and all that stuff now. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so super crazy that literally the CEO of AMC was like, maybe we should accept this coin, this absolute meme of a coin. Like, and that's like the nature of this coin is the fact that it was created as a joke, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's potentially going to become very profitable. Who knows? I'll tell you what. Today I did see a 2 cent increase on the value. It's still down from where I want it to be, but that's cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. Dogecoin's crazy. I think that
Hopefully,
like it's cheap enough that if you have a couple extra dollars hanging around, maybe you should just go get some. Um,
hopefully it does shoot up. There's been a lot of we've talked a lot about stocks, especially in our friend group and on the podcast, but it's just crazy to think about how people have either made money off of it or somehow just made so much money that they've been set for life. I'm mad that we've missed that wave a little bit, but it's just crazy to see that. Just maybe if you want to hark back to the time where your mom said this can't happen or this isn't going to happen or that there's no way this is going to happen in your lifetime. Literally, people are getting rich just from putting money into something that GameStop. What? You put money into GameStop stock.
I mean,
That's crazy.
GameStop was so low in value at one point
Mm-hmm.
that when
Mm-hmm.
you used to sign on to Robinhood, they'd give you some free stock. GME was so low that GME was one of the stocks they would just give you for free. And if you happen to be one of the individuals that just got free GameStop stock when you downloaded the app before it squeezed up to $400, you just made a massive free profit, which is
Mm-hmm.
so crazy to think
Mm-hmm.
about. So, Robinhood's obviously had some weird things going on lately, specifically when AMC started going up. They started like halting trades. They thought that they were trying to prevent the retail investor from making too rash of a decision to buy in and losing money. So they actually did something that at borderline was severe market manipulation, and they prevented people from buying the stock on their
Mm-hmm.
platform.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't the only exchange that did that. Lots of other ones did that. And but since they've been in the public eye so much over the last year, and it's been a platform where you can physically buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, I believe, and Dogecoin being like the really the only like alt non Ethereum non Bitcoin coin available on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
People have been asking for the longest time. It's like, when will we get to own our, because when you buy cryptocurrency, it's not like you're buying a stock, right? Like, you're
Mm-hmm.
not buying like a fictitious stock in the market. You're actually buying the coin. You're
Mm-hmm.
not buying into the value of the coin, kind of like what you do when you buy stocks. So people are saying, well, hey, I bought my Dogecoin on Robinhood. I want to take it off Robinhood without selling it. I want to move it to one of my virtual wallets or whatever, so I can then trade it or use it as a currency wherever it's accepted. Maybe AMC, who knows? So for the longest time, people have been just like spamming Robinhood every day on Twitter, being like, when are we going to get our crypto wallets? When can we actually take our crypto off the platform and move it wherever we want? Um, and today, literally today, they came out on Twitter. It's a pinned post right now on the at Robinhood Twitter page. We heard you is what they said, and there's a graphic here that said 160,000 times we heard you. And it's just a little like animation of people sending tweets about like, when wallets, when, like, we want our Doge or whatever. Again, the Doge army like coming in full force trying to get something done.
Mm-hmm.
And officially they've opened a wait list on the app. So if you are a Robinhood user and you go in and you get the recent update, you can actually sign up to be one of, or be, I guess, a user of their new crypto wallets that are going to come out. Currently, the wait list is very, very big. When I got in to it, I was like the 37,000th person in line on the wait list.
Golly.
Our buddy Kev did it, and then he was like 72,000th. And then our buddy Billy did it, and he was like 202,000. But they are running a pretty interesting like gimmick to get people to download the Robinhood app. So if anyone who has already entered the waitlist wants to move their place forward in line, they are offering you to say, basically, if you invite anyone to download the app through your link, it'll move you up in the queue. Now, I don't really understand what that means, because
Why is there a wait?
like why would I want to move myself up in the queue if eventually it'll be available for everybody?
Yeah.
Like, just like, I don't like, just because, like, all that would mean is like, maybe it wouldn't be pushed to me immediately. Maybe they're going to push it to the first 10,000 or something. I don't know.
Well, you can't
But it
even
seems
use
it's,
it for anything until AMC accepts it.
well, I mean, actually, eh, I won't say that just yet. I don't know that there are zero companies out there that will accept
I just
Dogecoin
had
yet.
deja vu. Did we talk about this before?
No, I mean, if we did, it was briefly, but not
Once
to this
again,
level.
deja vu. But keep going, Mike. I'm scared. I've seen this
Um,
before.
but yeah, so excited to see kind of what happens with it. Excited to see where it's going. Right now, it does seem like a ploy just to get people to download the Robinhood app. But either way, I'm super excited to be able to pull because the Dogecoin that I own is currently on my Robinhood, and I would love to be able to move it off that exchange into like a cold storage wallet, just so I have it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not necessarily thinking I would sell it immediately anyway. Maybe one day I would like to use it. I've heard some things about what's going on with the American inflation rate that's going to happen sooner than later, and maybe crypto will be the future. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this is not financial advice. I am certainly no financial advisor. I just happen to like memes, and this meme is worth some money. So
Oh, you sold me. I'm putting some money in it right now.
take it for what it's worth. With all that being said, we are gonna start. We're gonna head on over to the King's Table Games Corner, and hit it off with some games that are coming out.
Y'all, PlayStation, the Sony, man, they just keep. I don't. They keep reeling me back in. I just keep floundering out, but they keep reeling me back in. If you guys have had PlayStation 5 and or PlayStation 4, Sony announced the Spider-Man PS4 game. I forget. It might have been a year or two ago. And that was the big seller for that and the PS5. I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be for PS5, not PS4, but don't quote me. But either way, a lot of people are rushing out to the stores to buying this console. It is still very, 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 very hard to get. I've wanted one for a long period of time. Just didn't want to spend the amount of money for it. And I was like, you know what? Spider-Man's great, but if they've only made one, and I can wait a little bit longer, and maybe it'll come out on different consoles. No, y'all, no. Insomniac Games. Holy crap. Marvel, I guess, must have some crazy amount of deals with them. Especially for the simple fact that they got the Spider-Man game. I'm surprised that they haven't even already dabbled into the Square Enix Marvel's Avengers game. They should have some type of say in that because I feel like they can make it better. If they have already lost the rights to it and is going to Square Enix, or to Insomniac Games from Square Enix, we'll find out. I have no idea. But they officially announced Spider-Man 2, the video game, which you have Miles Morales and you also have Peter Parker. But the crazy part is the trailer shows them fighting, shows everything. Who knows if there's going to be co-op? Who knows if you can switch between players? Maybe go over to see what Miles is doing. Maybe go over to see what Peter's doing. But in the trailer, they show Venom. And they think Kraven the Hunter, for my people out there who are deep comic book people, he was talking about he needs someone who can verse, someone who's on par with him, and etc. etc. But holy crap! I need to get a PS5 now because now we have that. We have the Spider-Man game, and also on top of that, they're making a Wolverine game. Wolverine is my favorite superhero, and for anyone who knows me, you know that's true. So, Insomniac Games, what else y'all got? Because now they're getting Spider-Man, Wolverine, and who knows what else they're getting. Mike, if you could have one Marvel superhero for them to make, which one would it be? There's a lot. Or a group if you wanted like an X-Men or a Fantastic Four or a...
No, honestly, like it is Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man has always been the one comic that or superhero in general that I've just vibed with. Maybe it's because he comes from like a humble beginning and like never really wanted the superhero life, and like something about that it just seems like more genuine than like you could say like Thor that already had like born and raised with this like these abilities. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm super excited that they're coming out with Spider-Man 2. I mean, I played all of the original Spider-Man games that came out when like on like GameCube. I think I had them, and like the OG like ones that were like the Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire movie kind of like adaptation Spider-Mans. They were great. I mean, if you go back, they did not age well. I don't recommend it, but like they like Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, like those original like direct to like from movie to game games were money. They were super fun back in the day. So the fact that they're rebooting this whole new Spider-Man with Miles Morales, with with the Spideyverse kind of coming in to play, I think it's really really cool. So I'm just excited to see it. I don't have a PS5, so I can't even play the game. I have never played the most recent Spider-Man game that came out on PlayStation anyway. I have an Xbox and I have a PC, so kind of like out of luck until it opens up somewhere else.
We'll see what happens. I'm gonna try and get a PS5, but that is what's going on with Insomniac Games. Holy crap! I like. It's just so crazy that they're doing. I think they could make a Daredevil game. Honestly, if they wanted to go that far, I feel like a Daredevil Games one.
I mean, I think there has been a Daredevil game. I feel like.
Oh no, there definitely has been, but like I feel like they could do it justice. You know what I mean? He's pretty. Yeah. Not saying he's kind of like Spider-Man, but he can traverse the city kind of like him, and also like have more grounded villains such as Kingpin, Bullseye, etc. But we'll see. Who knows, man?
But the question I think I have is if they did a Daredevil game, would it be fair to have it in third person, or would it have to be a first person game?
No, I think they can make it in third person, but I think. Because his whole thing is like
he's blind. He just hears things really well.
They say he's blind, but the way they portray it is he can still see. Like he can see. I don't know if you've like seen it in the comics.
Oh yeah.
So like he can see, but I don't know. It's hard to explain, guys. If you haven't
But
seen
would
it,
the whole game have to be in that kind of mode? Like, would you not have any normal textures on anything?
I think
Kind of
it
deal.
could be normal. They could probably get in certain situations where they like maybe a villain like smacks something or like the reverberations of something like kind of makes him go blind for a second, so he has to use some type of I don't
Maybe.
know, who knows. But Insomniac, I got faith in you because that Spider-Man game looked amazing. But that being said, with
I'd be here for it.
hey, I'm ready for it. But that being said, guys, with new games coming out, one of my end all be all favorite games that I still have yet to beat because I got stuck in this one part in this game, but if it comes back out, I'm playing it. The Knights of the Republic remake is coming out, and I think it's only for PlayStation. I believe. I could be wrong though. You're more than welcome to do your own research, but I've spent countless hours playing this game, creating my own character. You get to choose your path. Kind of like your first ever open world Star Wars game, just minus, a lot of people want it to be like World of Warcraft where we can go run around and play and everything else like that, which I guess they're talking about having that in the works. Who knows when that'll come out, but if this game comes out with like amazing graphics, oh my god, I'm playing the mess out of it. Mike, have you ever played Knights of the Republic?
Yeah, the original version.
Oh
Uh,
man. Oh.
but sadly I bounced off of it. Like, it
Oh.
wasn't like it was like I wanted it to be better than it was. You know what I mean? Like there were just at the time it came out, there were just limitations that prevented it from being what you because at the end of the day, if you're gonna play a Jedi, period, like you really do want to be able to go everywhere, do the things. Like they've come out with a couple. EA came out with I guess the most recent Star Wars game. I can't even remember what it was called now. But Fallen Order, yeah. I mean, even that, like, I didn't care for. Like, I don't like, like, I don't like the idea that most of those games, at least so far, have not been an open world setting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't like the linear path that almost forces it into this like platformer. At least for that concept, I think it fits really well in some other concepts. But when you're this infinite being essentially that has force powers, but you're stuck to only walking this one little path through this building or along this dusty road or whatever, it feels stale, and it feels like you're actually playing inside a sandbox, versus the open world sandbox.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think they, especially with the Old Republic like online game where you play monthly or pay monthly and everything else like that. Like I was hype about that. It kind of fell short in my eyes, especially with like I mean the graphics are I mean they're kind of like World of Warcraft graphics and everything else like that. But you get a game like New World that's coming out that shows you can make these type of games where you can still have fun. The combat's fun, the movement's fun, and everything else like that. But I feel like with the Star Wars games, they could make a like Fallen Order game, a game like Knights of the Old Republic, but make it look like a Fallen Order game where you can create your own character and move around.
But like, imagine if just play with me in the space. Imagine if New World coming out, and by the way, people, if you haven't heard of New World, go back a couple episodes. We did talk about it pretty deeply, but it's a new Amazon MMORPG coming out next week that we got to play the beta and was absolutely enthralled with it. But imagine a Star Wars game using the New World engine. Like, oh boy, that would be incredible. Like, I think that would be very good.
I agree.
But yeah, we'll see.
Because now I think Star Wars has licensed like anyone can make Star Wars games now. I think EA was predominantly the front runner for Star Wars games, but I think they changed that now, which is good. Because now we can get different games and we can see what they can do. But they did have like the Star Wars 313, which looked really good, which is a bounty hunter game that got canceled. And I get tired of games coming out with trailers and they cancel them. They look amazing. And then they also did like a little sneak peek of a like Star Wars open world game, and everyone was excited. Got canceled again. No idea why. So hopefully a lot of these things are going to get brought back, and we'll see how it happens. But Knights of the Old Republic remake, I will definitely be playing it because I love that game. We'll see if it holds up. I'll have to give you guys a review whenever it comes out. We'll see. I don't know.
Fair enough. Well, staying with the theme here in the games corner, I want to talk about a game that's literally been 18 years in the making. That I last played this game at the ripe age of 13 at the year that a boy becomes starts becoming a man,
Right.
moving out from 12 to 13, becoming a teenager, playing this game. The game was Psychonauts. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a game that came out on Xbox, and it was a game about a little boy who basically ran away from his family of circus acrobats, and to go to a like a sleepaway camp where he could learn to use his psychic powers. And it what's so cool about this game is it dives into like mental health, and like the idea of this game is, as the job of a psychonaut is to be able to go into someone's mind and kind of eradicate or resolve the issue that is troubling the person in a way. So they have a very artistic way of creating these funny but like interesting and relatable stories of these characters that you end up having to help by going into their mind. And these games are 100% like a action platformer style game. Think like Rayman, if you've ever played a Rayman game. It's kind of got similar mechanics. You have a thing that you can fire. You can levitate things, you can pick things up, you can jump, you can double jump, you can whatever, and you got to get through to the end. But and this game captivated such a small audience when it came out in 2005, for some year credits there. And it came out by publishers and directing companies, Double Fine and Xbox Game Studios. And so when I heard that they were coming out with a Psychonauts 2 in the year of 2021, it blew my mind. I was like, no way they've been spending 18 years to get this game out. And the fact of the matter is, although the game was a smash cult hit when it came out, the culture around it just wasn't big enough really to keep the steam moving on the production, I guess. And but it's out now. You can get it on Steam. You can get it for Xbox. It's also available in the Xbox Game Pass if you subscribe to that. That's how I am playing it currently. And it checks all the boxes. If you can remember playing Psychonauts, it is Psychonauts just with a 2 on that slapped onto it. Even in the game, they make funny jokes about how, oh, it's only been like 2 weeks since that last catastrophe happened, and it's like 18 years later. But it doesn't skip a beat. It's such a great I find myself being surprised literally every level, every new scenario, because they do such a wonderful job of creating these intermind worlds. And they're not necessarily like, some of them are very abstract, some of them are very creatively expressionist, and or they're I'm playing in one right now where it feels like I'm inside the magical mystery tour that the Beatles had, where it's all the Yellow Submarines type stuff. It's super psychedelic. And you're helping out this musician who's lost his instruments or something, and you're in this crazy like colorful world, versus other areas where like you might be in like war zones or something like that as this little character. It really comes down to the mind that you're going to try to like resolve and help. And the storylines are absolutely crazy. You have to like find little bags called I'm blanking on what they're called. Emotional baggage. Sorry, you have to find like tags for emotional baggage, and then like resolve the issues for the person.
Is it
Like
on Switch or is it on just?
no, it's
Xbox?
only on Xbox,
Okay.
Xbox and PC.
Okay.
You can get it on Steam. But for those who out there who have the Game Pass, I highly recommend just getting it from that, because it is available on there. Otherwise, you can go through any of the normal routes to purchase it. But if you're ever interested in just a damn good platformer adventure with a good wholesome story and is funny and witty and full of dad jokes left and right, with a really interesting art style, I would highly, highly, highly recommend trying out Psychonauts number 2. And I don't think, if you're someone that's like, look, I don't know if I want to play Psychonauts number 2 because I never played Psychonauts 1, you don't have to play the first one to play the second one if you don't feel like it. I do know that Psychonauts 1 is still available on Xbox, and you can get it through Steam for like nothing. It's usually pretty cheap on Steam. But the beginning of Psychonauts 2, they kind of give you like background information of what happened in the first game, because I mean, come on, people, it's been 18 years. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of millions of people on this planet that weren't even alive when the first one came out. And there are some people probably who are 13 now that will get to play Psychonauts 2 as their first introduction to the game, and I am so excited for anyone to dive into this game. You know, I it I'm biased because I fell in love with the first game so many years ago, but you know, definitely you heard it here. Would recommend this game to go give it a try.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 2005. I was, whew, what the? I was, I don't remember this, and that's probably why, because I was too young to remember seeing this game. Because like I think we got our first PlayStation 2, and I played a lot of video games on my brother's console. But you know, that being said, child nostalgia. Guys, there's been a little bit of a Twitter thread floating around. And Mike said he didn't get to see it, but I feel like he's going to be very excited about this. There was a canceled Power Rangers game that everyone was talking about. They had, and the artwork for the stuff was amazing. It had a little bit of the old Power Rangers style and the new one that they just came out with, but pretty much it was an open world Power Rangers game. I don't know if you get to customize your character, but you get to pick any Power Ranger throughout all of the Power Rangers history. And pretty much it's just I can't even explain it, but it's kind of like the way they're pitching it is like World of Warcraft but Power Rangers. So that you have their Zords, you have every single character, you have the characters outside of the suits. They showed the suit design for wow, why am I forgetting his name? The little robot, forgetting his name, but him. Zordon and also everyone else in there, but it was canceled. So everyone was like, "Oh my god, this game was going to be amazing." It was 4 or 5 years ago when they were pitching this idea. Xbox, I think you guys can more than welcome to look up this stuff up too, but Xbox tweeted out something where they were talking about buying someone. They said this was going to be a big acquisition, kind of just as big as Bethesda. And a lot of people who worked there were like posting memes. A lot of people were posting the Chris Pratt one from Parks and Rec when he's looking out the door. Yeah. Like, oh, when you leave a meeting and you're more excited when you left the meeting than when you entered. Someone said that. And a lot of people are thinking it's Xbox, but the game got picked up. And now it's going to come out. So now they're currently working on it. Who knows how long it's going to take. Wasn't that far in development. A lot of them just had, sketches and some of the art. The art is fully finished. The art looks amazing. You're more than welcome to Google it. Just Google Power Rangers open world game. I can't say much more about it because all we saw was the screenshots, but it looked amazing. It looked like there was a new villain. It didn't look like it was going to be, Zed and Rita Repulsa and all that, but it looked like we were going to get a new villain. Maybe they'll be a part of that, but if you can give me that and I can go run around and play with my friends and be a Power Ranger, boy, you got me signed up. I'm in there. I'll be there, of course. Black Power Ranger, of course. Mike, are you excited about this?
I have like a very mixed relationship with Power Rangers. I have a feeling. I think that personally, when Power Rangers were super hot and cool, I feel like I just missed it. And I know that there are people my age or even older and younger that will disagree that I missed anything, because it was definitely around when I was younger, but for some reason I remember thinking, I was like, damn, this show is bad. And,
yeah, you might have been a little older, yeah.
And because for me it wasn't I loved the robot fights and stuff like that, where it was I forget what they call themselves, but the big robots that they would turn into and then fight in the streets. Zords? The Zords, that's it. Yes, that was always sweet. Loved that. Used to get monster truck kind of vibes from it, but it was always the fighting scenes when the bad guys would show up in their uniforms, and they would be like, and it's big Foley work going on.
But you gotta love when they would jump over the camera after they morphed into the
no yeah, no, right. And so it's almost like I liked the Power Rangers show whenever they weren't in costume, when it was just them in teenager clothes, being we're teenagers, we don't know what life is yet, but we have to save the world. That whole part was engaging for me. But for some reason, whenever they would start fighting, or a monster would show up in a really bad cosmetic that looked like a mascot of some defunct team somewhere, and they'd like punch it in its like hard gut a few times, and then you know what I mean, or like whenever they'd punch, it would like have like a spark kind of fly off.
Or they would get hit and go flying once again,
Yeah, like
jumping
I'm not
over the
like
camera.
I am not saying I didn't watch the show a lot. Like I just remember being like like I was like not fooled by it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't like, oh yeah, these people are really badasses. Like they're just kind of like low key teenagers that are really not so great at karate.
Yeah.
But like one thing I learned as I got older that which I actually think is really interesting is that the version that we saw like on regular TV or whatever
Oh yeah.
was not the original because they would whenever basically whenever whenever they would show the teenagers like outside of their costume, that was the only thing that most of those people ever filmed, because as soon as it flipped over to being in suits or the Zord fights, all of that was cut from like the original, I think, what Japanese version of the show.
That what the name was called, but yeah.
And so I always thought that was so funny that like in hindsight that all of these like teenagers that we thought were the people underneath the outfits, none of them none of them were that.
Nope.
And it's just so interesting to see and to understand that in retrospect.
You got it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember not too long ago a short film came out on YouTube. I don't know if you saw it. It was a short film about the Power Rangers, and it was like it was friggin' rad. It was super cool and well done, and people were like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get a Power Rangers movie finally! It's gonna be amazing!" You know, and I think that would be really excellent. Like, I would love to see what Hollywood or any independent director can do to the Power Rangers now. Like, what if we had like a big budget, like Spider-Man budget Power Rangers movie? You know that thing's gonna be badass. Butts in the seat, sold out. If we can get a legitimate high budget movie, I think it would kind of benefit a game. Yeah, like
the last one was I got where they were going with the last one. It once again, I feel like directors and or showrunners, they don't know when to dial it back. I feel like they're just trying to smack you in the face with stuff. Kind of like I didn't really appreciate Luke Cage as much, the TV show, because it kind of like they were just smacking me with the face with social injustices instead of making it subtle. With the last one, same thing, like teenage angst, smacking me in the face with it instead of making it subtle. But yeah, doing the Power Rangers now, like Mike said, and having like AAA, like or like a big studio coming in to do something probably would definitely work. But Mike, you would buy this game. I know you would, Mike, because this game looks. Did you Google it? Look at the pictures, Mike. It looks amazing. Like they have the Ninja Warrior. They have the Ninja Storm. They have the Mighty Morphers. They have Neon whatever something Galaxy or Neo Galaxy or something. But they have literally everything, and just taking it back to childhood as far as playing with the action figures, saying, "Wow, what if this team met up with this team, or what if Tommy met this guy, or whatever." I feel like that'd be pretty fun. I feel like it'd be a great game. But I know one person who's buying it. Our friend CJ. He is a big Power Ranger guy, but we'll see. But guys, that being said, we hope you enjoyed the information. Once again, here is an ad from our sponsors. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is David Graves, one of the co-hosts from the Humble Threads podcast. What's going on, Humble family? I wanted to take a second and reach out to you guys. We would love to hear from you. So recently we have made a Twitter. It is Humble Threads Pod, and the @ is Pod Humble. If you would like to come in, ask us any questions, we might be doing some polls. Who knows? We would love to hear any questions from yo-yoing to comic books to real life to fantasy. Who knows? Also, if you would like, we do have our Gmail still. We understand that not a lot of people want to email us, but we have that. It's in the description if you want to do that. But this right here is for you guys, the Twitter. So please come in, follow us on Twitter, ask us some questions, whatever it may be. We'd be happy to answer them on air. We'll catch you guys later. Stay humble. We'll see you soon. What is up, Humble family? We are back once again. We are at the end of the show. It's sad but happy. We are happy you guys are here. Sad that it has to end, but we'll be back again very soon. But we got a question for y'all. This was from someone I was recently talking to. We get to a lot of conversations at work because we're not allowed to have our phones on us, but The question is, and it literally just happened to me, and that's why I was a little scared because I feel like Mike has this can next to him. I feel like I've seen that before, and him saying this and the shirt that he had on. But the question is, do we shift into another reality when we have deja vu? Mike, what do you think?
I've heard like the actual scientific reason, like the physical reason as to why we have deja vu,
Hmm.
and then I also kind of understand like the more spiritual side of it.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of want to speak to both of those. So like obviously like um I kind of think my personal opinion out of the gate, I think we kind of do.
Hmm.
Scientists, again, not a scientist, but scientists, they whoever have said that what deja vu is not necessarily that you are experiencing something that you've done before or feel like you've done before, but it only feels like it's done before because for some reason in your brain, the synapses when like things are firing off in your head, there's a delay from when you see it to when your brain recognizes it,
Hmm.
and it creates this like after image kind of in your brain and makes you but like it makes you think you've seen it before,
Hmm.
but it's more about this like delay in your head. But then again, like that pushes me towards my answer, because it's like, well, if there was a delay, like what did that, right? Like
Hmm.
maybe that is the shift. Maybe you feel like you've done it before because maybe you have, or maybe you're uh like maybe there's another reality where you did experience that thing and you are maybe not going to that reality, but like being
Hmm.
in tuned with that version of yourself,
Hmm.
right? Because here on the podcast we are very big to the multiverse and Marvel, and
Hmm.
these different, the variants that we learned about in Loki. And there's a lot of that kind of in my personal understanding of of life, which could be completely wrong. I don't know, I've hit my head a few times, but the fact that if there are multiple realities happening all at once, they would have to be layered on top of each other, right? Like it wouldn't be like here's a
Hmm.
reality here and then here's a reality over there.
Yep.
All the realities are existing at the same time on top of each other, kind of like pages in a book. They're
Yep.
all on top of each other and together they make the book, right? And so like I could kind of see it that when we experience deja vu, it's not so much that we are going anywhere, but
Hmm.
for like a split second, we are experiencing a version of the reality that is on that other plane
Hmm.
of multiverse, that maybe they did do that already. Maybe they weren't held up. Maybe it's like you're passing a sign driving, and the
Hmm.
version of you in that other reality didn't have to stop at the red light. They had a green light, so they got to experience whatever you're seeing in your reality, you
Hmm.
know, after they did. So you get that, and you have a weird moment where your brain kind of hiccups because
Hmm.
it's because we like if we get into like what thoughts are, right? We are human radios. We receive thought waves, we send out thought waves. We feel things, we let things out through our heads, and like so if our brains are basically like biological radios, wouldn't it make sense that if your brain could like tuned the frequency or something of, or the channel of that other reality, that you could
Exactly.
tune in? Because have you ever like been between two different radio stations and you
Hmm.
can kind of hear both of them at the same time?
Hmm.
Like that's kind of how I see what deja vu is. Like your
Hmm.
brain is kind of like not necessarily having a delay in synapses, like just inherently by itself. It's almost like your brain's vibration is like shifting slightly, and it just so happens to pick up a nearby reality experiencing the same thing that you're experiencing, giving you that feeling of deja vu. I
Hmm.
could be wrong. I'm not a scholar, but that is how I'll answer that question. I do believe that at least we are seeing something somewhere from
Yeah,
somewhere else.
Mike pretty much hit the nail on the head. I won't tackle this too far, but yeah, guys, for me, I feel like it is kind of like what Mike said. I feel like everything's layered on top of each other, but they have said before, and a lot of scientists do say there's other realities, but they're existing at the same time we're existing, and they're here, but they're on different frequencies. So I feel like, as far as deja vu, either it already happened to that other you who's on that other plane, or you who's on that other plane is experiencing the same thing you're experiencing, and that's where that delay is. Because everyone's like, oh, alternate reality, I have 6 arms. No, alternate reality is probably, if you're coming home from work and you usually go left, your counterpart went right and it went a different way. So I feel like when the synchronicities happen, where you're like, oh, we're doing the same thing. Like maybe there's a universe where me and Mike still have a podcast and we had the exact same conversation we just had. it's starting to link up and your brain's delaying because the frequencies are getting messed up and going into each other. But yeah, when someone said that, I said, "Huh?" And I was thinking about, I was like, I feel like after deja vu's, a lot of times something changes for me. Good luck happens, or bad luck happens, or something else like that. Maybe I'm getting too close to that one reality where a lot of things are happening, and then I'm also going back into the other reality because I'm starting to part ways with that reality. But I feel like you're going back and forth, pretty much. But
Yeah.
that was our question. Great question.
Yeah, love it. And as always, gang, you can send us those questions directly to @podhumble on
Mhm.
Twitter. You can DM them to us if you don't want to directly tweet them, and you can always send them over to our email,
Oh yeah.
humblethreadspodcast@gmail.com.
Hmm.
Or just hit us up directly if you know us on any kind of any of our personal social medias.
Hmm.
But gang, it's been a fun time today. We're gonna wrap it up. We talked about this $35 Spider-Man suit that I just YOLO'd myself into, which was a really good time for our group chat today. I told everyone that it is currently in the works that I'll be getting a custom pro model yo-yo, sponsored and featured through Throwing Sideways. Again, shout out to William at Throwing Sideways, dude. Man, it's a pleasure to be on the team. We talked about my wife's birthday coming up, my sister's wedding, and my first dental procedure in 10 years. So we'll see how that all works out. I don't know if I'll be able to have dinner that night or not, but we'll find out. Obviously Dave had a birthday recently, which was super cool. He also had a cookout at his house. Just a low key, awesome time. Good friends, good people, excellent food. I brought homemade mac and
Oh yeah.
cheese, which was
Oh
just
yeah.
incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, we also Dave had his gender reveal and had the most excitement of his life. I'm telling you guys, go find Dave's social media and just go see the picture of him just like losing his mind over the fact that he's seeing that he's having a boy. He thought he was having a girl. He was the best man at a wedding over the weekend as well. And then, of course, his job situation is kind of up in the air at the moment. He's hoping that this new job's going to pan out.
Mhm.
Who knows? And then hit the Bud Lights that are just not good this season. Stay away from them,
Yo,
folks. Unless you're looking to
it's
have a
yeah.
have a fun time and
Mhm.
try something awful. Don't waste your money. Just buy yourself
Yep.
some regular Bud Light.
Mhm.
We thanked everybody for hitting us over 500 overall listens. We let you know that we have a T-shirt available right now on Teespring. If you just go to Teespring and search Humble Threads, you'll find us. We'll also put links on the bios and on our socials as well.
Mhm.
We dove into the meat of the show. We talked about AMC, the CEO, thinking that he's actually going to start allowing cryptocurrencies, specifically Dogecoin, as a currency for their movie theaters. Robinhood opening up their crypto wallets, finally letting you in to take the Doge out. Super cool about that. We talked about a bunch of awesome games. If you've played any of these games, please @PodHumble on Twitter, let us know. Or if you're excited for these games coming out, let us know what your favorite thing you're looking forward to is. We talked about Insomniac Games Spider-Man 2, as well as a new Wolverine game, Knights of the Old Republic remake. I'm actually super excited to see how that turns out. Double Fine's Xbox Game Studio Psychonauts 2,
Mhm.
back
Mhm.
from the past, literally 18 years in the making. Definitely a great game. Would recommend. And we rounded it out with talking about this Power Rangers open world game, all thanks to an Xbox acquisition. And although we were in the middle of, I think we were talking crypto, Dave's like, deja vu. I'm having deja vu.
Yep.
The question of the day was, do we shift into other realities when we have deja vu? We kind of gave our answers around. We both kind of agreed that we kind of think that we're just tuning into a reality that's just overlapping where we are currently.
Mhm.
Uh, what do you think? And maybe you're an actual neuroscientist and can give us the details of what the science behind it all is. Please, again, @PodHumble on the Twitter. But that's where we're gonna leave you, friends. As always, um,
Guys,
if,
yes. If you enjoyed the podcast, please be sure to go leave a like and a rating and a review on your podcast platform of choice and consider sharing it with your friend. It really helps the podcast reach new listeners. As you can see, with 500 listens, once again, thank you guys. The t shirt should be in the show notes, or it'll be on our social media. Just hang tight, look for it. We would love to have you guys buy some. We're going to buy some. Get ready because this is an expansion and something new, and we can only go forward from here. Just letting you know. Once again, guys, I am David Graves. You can find me at David Graves, usually on any social media. Kinggravesgaming on Twitch, YouTube. Also, King_Dougie or King_Graves13 on Instagram. I need to change that. They all need to be the same. I keep saying this. It'll happen, I promise. But that's where you can find me. Mike, where can they find you?
Yeah, again, as always, you can find me at KingpinCaribou nearly everywhere, as well as Mike Hart.yoyo on Instagram. I think it's I actually have no idea what my TikTok name is, but it doesn't matter. But Kingpin Caribou over on Twitch. You never know when I'll come back, and a Throw Lab over on YouTube. And again, just want to plug again my yo-yo sponsor, Throwing Sideways. Super awesome to be on that team. But as always, everybody, we love to have you here. We love to have you listening, and just stay humble.
Stay